Hi, hello, digital gents. Unreal Engine games on consoles always have the shaders come pre-compiled. In order for that to be possible, Unreal has to be able to find all the shaders the game will be using. And yet on PC, Unreal says finding all of these shaders is a difficult problem that they're still working on resolving. I'm confused. Why don't they just use the same process as on console? So Alex, that's an interesting point, right? Because there is no stutter struggle on PC in the conventional shader compilation sense because the shaders are compiled and ship with the game. And so how do we square this circle of, shaders being difficult to find?
I mean, well, it's slightly different on console. The thing is, if you're going to be pumping out a build, it's not going to pump them out in the intermediate shader format that DX is going to be using on a console. It's going to pump it out in the end shader format that your SDK shader compiler is set to, right? So that's the reason why it's not an intermediate format that a driver then takes a look at and says, let's put it into our actual proprietary format. So I think that's the thing that is a little bit confusing. All that shader code exists in the engine already when you pump out a thing on PC. It's just the fact that you have all these different vendors that then have to put it into their own native version. And devs at that point in time just say technically they could do all the shaders, but it's just a waste of time. I think the issue is kind of intractable at the moment. I think the engines that are using, we make a billion shaders like Unreal are not going to change. They already went in that direction. I don't think they're going to change. I think it needs to happen on a really larger level. I don't think the engine's going to change at this point in time. So I think it has to happen at the OS level, at the IHV level, so your NVIDIA, Intels, and AMDs, and perhaps at the DX level to make it so that there isn't so much shader permutation, state changes. That's basically it. So it's all those kind of things. I as much as I wish it were the case that Unreal would have a different view of these things, more like an id Tech style of these things, that is, that's something that wouldn't go well with indie or AA development, where you don't have a tech team that says, don't do that, use this shader only. I don't think that works for an engine that's trying to be democratized and require low entry. So that's just the way it is. But just to get back at it again, the consoles, they do a different thing altogether. They don't have an intermediate shader format that then has to be compiled before the game starts.
Okay, fair enough.